My new book, Pillars for Life, A Guide to Spiritual Ethics and Practice, is now out and available for you to read and purchase. You can check out our website, willowhealing.org, to find a link, or you can find it on Amazon. We look forward to getting your feedback, and if you love it, please leave a review and share with your friends. Now it's time for the show. Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Catherine Cristani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and today I'm here with Isabelle Daikeler. She is a visionary holistic wellness expert committed to guiding you through inner alignment and spiritual healing. In her one-on-one sessions, she crafts a sacred space where you can engage in a genuine conversation with your angels. By stepping aside with intuitive grace, Isabelle knows infinite intelligence to channel through your energy, sparking a transformative experience that nurtures deep relaxation and emotional release. So a big welcome to the show, Isabelle, and I'm really delighted to have you.
Thank you, my dear. I'm happy to be here.
So I love this because I work very similarly where I hold a container and allow whatever comes through to come through. So
Mm.
I have so many questions. So
Okay. Good.
so have you always had angels come through to you, or was it something that evolved over time?
Yeah, no, not at all. So my background is very different. I was a track and field assistant coach, personal trainer, rehabilitation expert, nutrition, nutrition for especially for sport, athletics. Um, and before that, my family was in the film industry. And so I was doing film in my earlier days. So not at all. It was something that really hit me late in my life. Now, I was always a little odd, apparently, I was told. I was told I was always a little intense. But, I'm a Virgo, so I heard that we tend to be intense. Um, and and I think gut feeling, a sense of, when you have a sense of, just feels right. Like the way of
Mhm.
speaking was very emotionally based always. So I look back thinking, oh, there was aspect of myself that connects. But what happened to me and my connection to the angels, was very late, like a direct connection, one that I was consciously aware of, happened when I gave birth to my boy. So I had my child at 40, and it's in the first 3 months of that it happened, and it happened through. So I gave birth at home, and within 3 months, I started having a lot of chronic pain and difficulty to walk. And then it took me 10, 11, 12 years to get back on my feet, really. So that first 10 to 12 years with my new child was a lot of
God.
pain and
Mm.
fear and tribulations and trials trying to get back on my feet, going from expert to expert. And then it's that first 3 months or so that guidance came through in the midst of all that, where and I think the catalyst of that was I was so scared, in such pain. Like I was quite solid for my petite frame. And I was 125, 120, and I was down to 102. Um, and nothing was getting better. Like I just couldn't move forward literally on my 2 feet. And, um, and the pain was debilitating. It was affecting my whole life, but my marriage as well. And it's when we were in Kauai that everybody went to dinner, and I had a nanny to help me because I couldn't carry him. Um, she went to dinner as well with the family, and I was laying on the floor with my feet on the chairs, and I was just done.
Mm.
I just prayed like I'd never prayed in my life, where I if it hadn't been of my son, my wording would have been, I'm done, take me. But because you have
Yeah.
a child, everything changes. Um, but I was saying, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm desperate. This quality of life is horrible, and I need help. Like, I think it's the complete surrender where my ego was completely out of the picture. I I was good at what I did, and I couldn't help myself. I had connection with well-known people. They couldn't help me. Um, and I was egoless in my feverish prayers, and very, very scared, completely surrendered. And that's when everything happened for me, when the connection happened, when the channeling happened, and the healing began.
Mm. I feel like I know a lot of people and who I've interviewed too. It's when you get to that moment of absolute surrender, when you
Hmm.
feel like you can't do any more, that,
Yeah,
that is where the angels will come, or that is when, like you said, your ego gets put to the side. And then, it allows for you to go into that healing because we so think we can do this ourselves. But
that's
sometimes
right.
we forget to ask for divine intervention and
Yeah.
help, right?
And we forget to listen and to receive.
Exactly, exactly. And
Yeah.
I know personally, I had to reawaken. So that's what I
Mm.
call it, a reawaken.
Yes, yes.
um, and you go through all your trials and tribulations. But recently, I was asking my guides for help because they urged me to run this retreat, which by the time this airs, it'll be done. And
Mm.
I had no one signed up for this retreat, Isabel. And I'm like, you want me to run this retreat, and there's nobody signed up. Like I need some financial help, like this has been such a gamble, and what happened was I went out with my dad, and by this point I had at least 3 people signed up, so it wasn't as bad. But I went out with my dad, and he's like, "Are you going to make money?" And I said, "No, probably not, but I'm just chalking it up to, like, it's been an experience. I've pushed me out
I
of my
love
comfort
that
zone."
question. How you going to make money?
Exactly. Well, he's an accountant, so we have
Oh,
to ask these
good.
questions, right? And he got really upset and he stormed off. Anyway, and all these things happened, but this amazing conversation happened like later where he rang and apologized for his behavior and actually
Huh.
said, and then at the end of the conversation he said, "I love you." And he never says that. And I was like,
Wow.
wow. And then the next day he rang me up and he actually offered to help pay for the retreat.
Wow.
And the rebel in me was like, "No, no, 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 no." But then my angels were all there going, "You wanted help. You need to receive this."
Mm.
And I was like, "Actually, you know what? That would be amazing. And I really appreciate you seeing me and wanting to help
Wow.
me." And just the change in perspective from that was so powerful. And like you said, you have to be open to receive, and you
Yeah.
have to and if I was being stuck in my ego, I would have been like, "No, I'm fine," but really I'm like, "No, I've been asking for help. Here's my
Yeah.
help."
Yeah.
So,
Can I ask you a question? What
yeah.
do you think made him switch like that?
I feel because I've been doing a lot of changes myself, but also I
Mm.
didn't react. So it was a really bizarre experience. It was almost like whilst we're at this was all happening in a restaurant, mind you.
Mm.
I almost saw these bubbles of emotions come up. So first it was shame, and it just
Mm.
kind of came out of me, but it popped, like it didn't stay. And then it was embarrassment, and then that came up and it popped. And then it was just sadness. And the sadness
Oh.
was more that, we're still having this conversation, and it's like, and I actually said, like, my dad
Mm.
walked off, he came back, then my husband was upset and he's like, "Did you feel like a 12-year-old again?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, a little bit, I did." Then my husband walked off and he came back. While my husband was off, my dad said to me, like, "I'm sorry," but it was a half-ass sorry,
Yeah.
and I said to him, "You need to let me fail forward." I said, like, "This is an experience and I'm learning, and you have to let me fail forward." But
Mm.
I felt I couldn't share with him, "I'm not running this retreat because I want to. I'm running this
Mm.
retreat because,
Yeah.
spirit gave me the kick to do it."
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's really, so I feel like just being, you know, we've had this change in relationship, and sometimes I feel when you demonstrate to others how you have changed and shifted, and when you do that healing within you, right, it shifts your
Yeah.
parents and your children, and you don't even realize the impact till later on
Oh,
when you have
yeah.
that
That's so
conversation.
beautiful. Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's something that I always like when someone says it again. Like, I like to hear that. It's a great reminder of something that's quite factual.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we do need that reminder, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, now that you're working with angels and holding that space for people, a lot of people don't realize, first of all, how much courage it takes to actually show up for a
Mm,
space like that and to be
yeah.
open to the healing. Because if you're not open to it, nothing's going to shift or change
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, it's true. I often say when people ask me what it's all about, especially people that aren't quite comfortable with the whole thing, but they're curious. And I always say, I don't do anything.
Same.
It's being done through me. I'm just the receptor, right? I'm just the conduit of this energy. And I was pushed once because what happens with me is I do the harmonic egg session, this big modality that perhaps we'll talk about, and then I do also healing. And sometimes people book a harmonic egg session and a mini session of healing after. And I always say the angels will decide if you need a healing session because perhaps you're processing plenty with the harmonic egg. Um, and they kind of get it, but kind of don't sometimes. So they expect it to happen. And I just reimburse them if they don't do it. And then somebody pressed me. The angel said she's processing plenty. Sometimes I still help ground the
Mm,
processing, but that person didn't need that. They just needed to be left alone. And they really pushed me. So that was earlier when in my beginning days. And I thought, I'll try it. So I told them I'll try. But it was so clear that I really don't do the healing because I stood because when I do, and I'm sure you'll relate to that, the healing, and I say I do, but when it's being done through me, it feels energy feels thick as water, and it's almost like current moves my hands and my body. And I was standing there in front of the person. They were laying on a big waft, this big thing that people lay on in my temple, and it just nothing was happening, just nothing. And I said to them, I don't do. Like, I really don't do. I'm not sure what you think is happening, but let's sit down and talk about it because it became so clear. Like, I don't do. It really is being done through me because I couldn't force anything. It was really a
mm,
cool experience. That was in my first year or so, and it was awesome because it feels so freeing not to be in charge. It's
mm.
so nice.
Well, it's funny because sometimes I get like, what does my mentor call it? Like a pre-download, like a pre-channel.
Mm,
So like before the person comes in, I'll start to get some information. So like I have one after this. I have a client today, and last night we were just securing the time and making sure everything was clear. You know, like cost and everything like that. And I said to her, were you really close to your grandma? And she's
mm.
like, yeah. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. This is who's here right now. Because, you know, sometimes when you establish that energy contract or energy exchange with somebody, it's like or I find our energies start to
Yes.
align,
Yeah.
and then you'll start to get information about that person because they've already booked in for you and made that almost contract that,
That's
oh
right.
yeah, we're going to have an energy exchange of some sort.
Yeah.
But I fully understand what you mean about staying there and holding space. So I recently had a client, and they're like, she needs to lie down and just go to sleep. I was like,
Oh, yes.
okay,
Yes, yes.
okay. And they're like, yep, you're going to put her on the table because she's exhausted, and you're just going to get her into a meditation, get her down to Mother Earth, have Mother Earth hold her space for her,
Mhm.
let her go to sleep, and then you're going to get to work. And I was like, okay, because I had never done one like that before. I was just
Oh,
like, right,
yes.
you know, this is why people are like, what do you do? And I was like, I don't know. I just hold space. You know, as you're probably the same. You're like, I
Yeah.
just let the angels work. So
Yeah.
sure enough, the plants came in, the animals came in, the angels came in, and then I get told, work on her chakra, like whatever chakra it was. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yes.
I'm there
Yes.
working on the chakra. And then it's like, go hold her feet, go push the liver points. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. And it's just, and then I'm just there and they're like, okay, now you need to do some inner child work. And I'm like, but it's me. Can I do? They're like, of course you can do that. Otherwise, I wouldn't tell you can do that.
Yeah.
You have to do. So, it's about like exactly like you said. You just hold this channel, you hold this space, and you have no idea
Yeah.
what's going to happen. But I don't know
Yeah.
about you, Isabel. But I'll often find there'll be a pattern then for the rest of the week or for the next couple of weeks. So then every client I had after that for the next week
Mm.
had to lay down and rest while I worked on them.
Oh, interesting. No, I don't have that. I've heard that though, but I don't have that. But I do have several people, because you have your regular and then you have people that comes once in a while. But I do have people that lay down and pass out. They go to
Wow.
sleep right away. And I
Yeah.
feel like it's bypassing their ego, their consciousness. And I don't mean ego in a bad way,
No.
but the awareness of the consciousness, the mind. I'm not quite sure. Like all these words are being used differently by different people, but it's like, oh, I'm sorry if I misspoke. But I feel like they're just checking out, and so you can really get in there.
Yeah, and sometimes when you need that really deep healing, you do have to check out and
Hmm.
not have anything. And even um, I was part of a group bioplasmic tuning where they use the tuning forks
Oh
to.
yes, I
Yes,
love
it's
those.
it's an
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
Anyway,
so good.
and so I'm on like I was like laying on the lounge. I was really relaxed, and I had my headphones in, listening like on my phone while
Wait,
the
you have your
session was.
headphones while you work on people?
No, no, no. This is
Oh,
someone was doing it to
I'm like,
me.
wait,
This is
talk
someone
to
was doing
me.
it to me. Oh no, 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 no.
I was like,
Someone was
that's a
doing
new
it to
one on
me.
me.
Yeah. and and yeah, she goes, okay, I'm just clearing the energy around your left foot. And I'm like, okay. And then she goes, and now we're to the right foot. And I just was gone. And I woke
Oh
up.
wow.
I was in such a deep sleep. I woke up and I was
Ah,
like, why am I on the lounge? And then I was like, I was in like a group session. And then I looked at my phone and I was like, oh my goodness, it's 9:25. And it's funny because they had coaching at 9:30. So I was like,
ooh,
oh, thank you. But
tight.
at the same, yeah. And then at the same time, I was like, am I still in the session? And then I saw a message from the facilitator saying, thanks for showing up. But but she's like, you must have just really needed that deep rest. I said, yeah, I feel
Yeah,
amazing. Like
I
so,
bet.
yeah. And I guess that's the beauty of like being intuitive and holding that space, right? Is that you just allow whatever needs to happen
Yes.
happen.
I love not being in control. It's fantastic. It's very rare in one's life, right? That you can really just be used, be used really, really well. But thoroughly used in a very
For the
good way.
highest and greatest good,
Yeah.
exactly. So I feel to pull back and ask you about this harmonic egg because I see it in my head what you're talking about, but I want to make
Uh-huh.
sure that that's what's coming through because a lot of
Yes,
people talk
yes.
about cosmic
Yeah.
egg as well. Is it
It's
similar to that?
amazing. It's huge. You literally walk in. It's an egg and it has a lot of angle. It's sacred geometry. And you walk in, and there's a big light on the top, almost like a sun or a moon. Same thing at the bottom. There's a chair that goes zero gravity in the middle, and there are speakers on each side that moves the light and the egg moves the light and the sound of the two speakers on each side, 365-degree through and through your body. Um, you set up a specific songs and a specific light that are designed for the egg, and you just walk away and you let them bathe in that. It's like a bath of sound and light for about 39, 40 minutes. And then there's a 10-minute quiet where they're processing in silence. And then they're cooked and you get them out of the egg. And it's an amazing central nervous system reset for sure. But
Yeah.
you've got hundreds of songs, and it's anything from anxiety to supporting people going through chemo, through broken bones. You're just supporting the immune system that knows what to do, but you're
Mm.
allowing it, especially because you get a reset. You go in that very deep meditative state and you allow it. The environment, that the way it was created, allows the system to rise to the occasion and work and help with the healing process, whatever it is dealing with, especially with people that are, I always see people that are uncomfortable with intimate contact. Sometimes having a healer, it tends to be more
Too
men with
vulnerable.
me, uncomfortable, right? They can't really relax. So there's something about this isolation of being in this big egg, where you're all by yourself with your own energetics and your own self. Um, that's very potent because it allows them to finally relax, let go. And sometimes it helps bridge them to being comfortable with the human presence in a healing session. But it's regardless, both are great. So I don't care. I offer both. But it's a beautiful way I've noticed to introduce beginners to all that stuff, to this whole world of healing.
Yeah, and that would be so cool. I
It
just
is
had
so
the image
cool.
of it happening. I
You
was like,
go on
oh,
you can go Google harmonic egg
yeah.
and you'll see it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, which is just amazing because I know, one of my friends has when you get the copper rods in the form of a pyramid,
Oh,
and then
yes,
you
yes.
can, yeah, which can be like, and she goes, walk in it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I walked in, I was like, oh my goodness. I said, I feel
Oh,
like so clear and elevated. She's like,
oh,
yeah. And, it's really interesting having that positive energy around you and shifting it.
yeah.
How did you find out about the harmonic egg?
How
The
did I find
universe.
out? No, no. It would sound cool, but no, it was much more down to earth. I think I was talking to a woman who works with autistic kids because I work with a lot of autistic kids. Um, and she had been looking for a modality, found the egg, was telling me the experience she was having, how great it was for her kids. And then I flew to Gail, the creator, and tried it. And I happened to have a big migraine at that point. So I thought, oh, fantastic. I'll know what it's all about because I have a migraine. Would it help me? And yes, it did. I came out feeling much better. And that was I went and I brought a friend lawyer who's very no nonsense, rational, super, um, what's the word in English? Super, like a
Logical.
doer,
Yeah.
logical doer. Still a woman, so the intuition is there, but very different than I am, which is part of why I think she's fantastic. But I thought if she likes it and I like it, the odds are it's pretty good for whomever. And she was annoyed in the beginning. She walked in and she wanted to have her phone, and Gail was like, "Can't have your phone in there." Ah. And she said the first 10 minutes she was, "Oh my God, I'm gonna waste so much time. Why did I do this? That's stupid." And then before she knew it, she passed out, woke up in the egg feeling amazing, like very relaxed and grounded and focused with some great clarity. And yeah, it was fantastic. So it was a big green light.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
love that. Well,
Yeah.
it's still the universe putting a little
Yes,
breadcrumb
of
trail
course.
for
It's
you,
all the
right?
universe.
All the
We are
universe.
all in a big egg after all, right?
But I understand. So, because my background's a speech language pathologist, so I worked with children
Oh,
with autism for nearly 20 years. So I fully
oh,
understand
yes.
why it would be so powerful because they just sit in there and be like, oh, lights and sound, as long as
Yes,
and there's no touching because a lot of the time these nervous systems can't
exactly.
take that. Yeah,
Yes, yes. And there's very kind settings, very, very gentle. One of the things I love about it is that there's no EMF, no Wi-Fi. It's very old-fashioned, all wood, not processed wood. Um, and I'm very sensitive to EMF.
same.
So when there are many modalities that seem really cool, but they use Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to be activated and used, and the net of that for my system is not worth it because the Bluetooth, let's say, really affects me. So I could never go for any of those devices, however great they could be with other people. So when I encounter the egg where it's very clean and it's very simple, just a very good quality sound system and this shape of the egg that's amazing for sound. I was so happy. First, it worked for me, but I felt safe having a newborn, a puppy, a mother, a sick person. Like it didn't matter. I knew they were safe in there.
Yeah, and I feel that's such an important point to bring up because so
Yeah,
often people like, oh, we've got Wi-Fi and we've got Bluetooth and we've got
I know.
everything else. And it's just like, well, it's actually interfering with your system
I think
immensely.
so. Even
Yeah.
if you don't feel it, I
Mm.
think it's like some of us are what's the expression? The canary in the gold mine, in a coal
Yeah,
mine,
canary in the gold
right?
mine. Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
feel that's what we are. So if it hurts me a lot, I get a headache right away, and then I get very fuzzy in my brain. But I feel like you might not feel it, but it's just not enhancing your
Uh,
system. So like everything I have, wherever I am, there's copper all
yeah.
over to stop from the satellite from bombarding. So for me, that matters a lot in an environment. And so if you
Yeah.
don't need it, if you don't feel you need
I'm
it, it's
always wearing
okay. You don't have
I'm
to worry
always
about it.
wearing yeah, I'm
Oh,
always
there you
wearing
go.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
And then
yes,
I'm surrounded normally by like little pucks that we made and like yeah.
yes, yes.
Right? So I get it.
Yeah.
But it's what was I going to say with that? Yeah, it's really interesting you say that because my husband and I we were just going on this road trip and we were staying in this place in the middle of like the mountains and we were so excited because we're like great, like we're going to be really isolated. And then we get there and the owner
Oh,
comes and he goes, oh, hang on, let me spend the next 20 minutes explaining all the
oops,
tech in the
it
house.
froze.
Oh, I'm still here. I'm still here. Can you hear me again?
Shoot. I lost you, my dear.
Oh, it's okay. I'll start again. It's all right. This is
The
why
the owner came
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah. So the owner came and spent the next 20 minutes explaining all the tech in the house.
oh gosh.
And we were
Oh
like,
no.
And we were like, we don't care. We're not even going to turn the TV on. It's
Mm.
just like, but there was so much tech running through the house. When we
Oh,
tried to sleep, it was buzzing. Like it was
oh my God.
absolutely buzzing. And we were just like, we can't sleep in here. It was like the most
Mm,
terrible night's sleep. And, we ended up spending a lot of time outside the cabin, which is not what ideally you want to do because it had massive picturesque windows. So you could just sit in the
mm.
lounge by the fire. But because it
Yeah,
was just all that energy in the house,
yeah,
it was, and I didn't know what I knew now. Now I would probably put some sort of energetic shield up or,
yeah.
put my
I
little
haven't
crystals around.
found I haven't found
Yeah.
anything that because me, I get migraines within 5 minutes. So I
Mm.
haven't found anything I can put in front. So I just been traveling a little and I literally,
Ah,
well, first of all, the last hotel, I bless it because it was very old fashioned and there was nothing. It was the old fashioned light switch. Like there was nothing. It was heaven. But usually I have to look for, because they have their 5G, they have the
mm,
towers, they have the satellites, the normal, right?
mm,
And then they add this extra box of 5G, usually behind the TV, and
mm,
it's not a box that you can access. The Wi-Fi is within that box in order to turn it off. So I have to. So that's what I do. The first thing I do is I look for that box or two in this little room. There's like two sometimes, and I try to turn it off. I can't. I call the engineering, but sometimes they don't want to turn it off. I literally have to try to destroy it to try to access it and turn off this box.
wow.
It's
Yeah.
intense. And the more luxurious the hotel, the more I'm like, ah, because
Yeah.
to me, it's like luxurious 5G, it's
Exactly.
so interesting. And it's interesting when you're the only one, right? When
Mm,
you're with people that don't have a sense of it at all. So you're like, you sound a little extreme, but it's so
yeah.
real. The physical experience of it is so real.
Mm. Like
Yeah. And
I
I
can
was,
sense it on people. So I'll walk
wow.
past people and get hit by like almost their like
Mm,
radiation, if you will. And then 9 times out of 10, they're wearing a smartwatch. So they
yeah.
really like and I remember when I first started channeling, I was channeling for someone and smartwatches came up because they must have been
Uh,
thinking about it. And I said,
oh
you're
gosh.
basically going to become a walking modem and it's going to impact your system so much.
Yes.
And why not just give all your data away? Like it was
Yes.
very much a
Yeah.
privacy thing as well as a interfering with your system.
Yeah.
And I see so many kids wearing them and I'm like, I
Yeah.
had one that genuinely was wearing one for medical reasons because he had
Mhm.
epilepsy and things like that. That I
Yeah,
understand, but not just for the sake of it. And I was like, oh my goodness,
I know. And
you know,
it's interesting because I don't think that that information is really out there. It's not,
no.
it's not.
Well, it
So when
is,
you,
but it's been suppressed. Yeah.
yeah, so it's an interesting one to talk about because many people will roll their eyes, and but it's also wild. First of all, bless people's hearts that can be amongst it all and function and be well. I'm quite envious. My life would be a lot easier if I could do that. Um, so no judgment there. It's like, oh my God, yeah, if I could just not, because it's getting big, I'm 58. So it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
So it just progressed and got more and more. And I suppose at a certain point, my system was just overmaxed. Like I couldn't
Saturated.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about that is that a lot of it is fitness world, right? So it's sold for their well-being and their health, and the device itself is not conducive to that. So it's interesting, right?
Yeah, I remember years ago, my ex bought me a running watch, and I hate running. And anyway, but I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a go. But then part of me is like,
I gotta run
why am I
now.
wearing a watch that track? Well, yes, that was number one, and number two was like, I have to put a chip in my shoe, and like this is really old school, so we're going back years ago. I'm like, I have
Oh
to put a
yeah.
chip in my shoe, which then the watch tracks, and it's just like, why can't I just like go onto Google Maps and determine how far the route is that I run because I always
Yes.
run the same route rather than,
Yeah, yeah.
actually sit there and be tracked, and I was like, I don't care how
Yeah.
fast I do it because I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. And the whole irony
Yeah.
was, which you'll love, Isabel, I could power walk it faster than I could run it because if I
Oh,
power walked, I wasn't hurting my body and I was like,
yes.
just, in it. And my sister and I, we used to go for these power walks and we found if we were angry about something, we do them twice as
Oh,
fast because,
yeah.
anyway, but,
Yeah, anger is
but
the best energy drink.
100%. But yeah, but then even then I'm questioning like, why would I want to keep this on me? Why, like, this
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense at all, and even um I cannot have Bluetooth on anything. So if I turn
Mhm.
Bluetooth on to do a quick airdrop and then I've got to turn it off
Yeah.
again. And if I forget, I'm like, why does it feel weird? And I have to get it off
Yes.
straight away. So I
Yeah.
find Bluetooth, I'm more sensitive to Bluetooth.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
still the one with the massive cable in the car connecting my phone.
Me too.
Like, yeah, because I'm like, I cannot do Bluetooth. And people are like,
No.
they don't get it. And I guess that's such a I'm not as sensitive as you, but I can fully resonate with you because I'm really sensitive to people's GM.
You it's a little bit like how weird yoga was way back then, a few decades ago, and now everybody does it, right? So I think it just takes time, but it comes. So I have a feeling that the awareness of the impact of these modalities will catch up. We'll figure it out, and hopefully we can find better ways to access the beauty of technology in a way that um, is less harmful to our system. Yeah,
Yeah, and almost pulling out that old Nikola Tesla work and things like that, right? Like I'm waiting for that to resurface. I feel it soon.
yeah, yeah. I think it's a little bit everywhere, right? But
Mm,
can't push through the ceiling. Can't get there.
exactly,
When you think
exactly.
of the ramification financially and politically and geopolitics and all that, it's quite intense. The
Yeah,
change, everything that needs to change to allow it, it's overwhelming. Like you feel it will happen. It needs to happen for us all. But how will that come about will be an interesting thing to watch unfold.
I know. I think, well, I feel what an interesting time to be alive, right? There are moments where I just go and people are like, oh, have you seen what's going on here and here and here? I said, yeah, I've just got the popcorn, because it's just, and you only get a fraction of the information too. And I feel this is such an important thing for people to remember that we
Yeah.
only get what they want us to know. and there's so
Yeah.
much going on multiple levels underneath. So you just got to be curious and keep asking questions
Yeah.
and not take whatever's shared at face value.
Yeah, and also, we have a tendency, like, if you relate, with whatever an individual says, you don't have to relate to it all. You can just
Exactly.
take tidbits of information where it works for you. You can also take breaks. You don't have to constantly hook in and be on top of everything. You need to back off and retreat back into your sanctuary, whatever that is for you, because it's quite overwhelming what's happening. And I'm good. I can take, it's funny, I'm not very good with technology, EMF and all that, but in terms of that kind of exposure to the intensity of the information, I can take a lot. So
Mm,
it took me a while to realize that I needed to back off and take break, because I'm insatiable in wanting to go in the rabbit holes, and being careful not to be sucked into storylines. But I started noticing over the years that the fear within so much of the information is so
mm,
intense now. You really need to retrieve and let it go and back off and remind yourself of what is right here, right now, present in your life. Because most
yeah.
of us, our lives are so much better than a lot of what we're watching. And, so you have to go back to your partner's love and your child's love and the giggling of a newborn, or, just your backyard, or shopping, or cooking, or whatever it is you do that you enjoy and is something safe, right? Go back to the normalcy in a way of your life. For most of us, obviously, there's a lot of people suffering to a great extent right now, but that's always been true as well.
Exactly.
I always feel the ones that don't suffer as much have a responsibility to take very good care of their hearts and their emotional states, because we have to pray and we have to try to send that wavelength, that it exists, right? To give a base somewhere that resonates in the ether, that people can grab on. Otherwise, all that it is around is fear, and so your
Mm.
system just ramps up. So if you can calm down and stay a bit more grounded and in your heart, it's almost like a responsibility right now to emulate that and to be that for yourself and others.
That's so beautifully put, because my next question to you as we start to finish up, Isabel, would be if you could change or heal something in the world, what would it be? But I feel like you just answered that question.
Yeah, it's peace, right? It's
Mm.
it's just the ability to be at peace, because if you, I mean, my answer could be something else some other time.
Agreed.
Um,
I get
but
it.
right now, peace is is what I'm thinking of. When I pray for peace, because I feel if I'm at peace, I'm not reactive.
Mm,
If I'm not reactive, I'm kinder and more honest with myself, right? Because I'm not reactive. I'm not in great judgment toward myself. So then I can pause and really see, really assess, really forgive. And I can do the same. If I'm at peace, I am better at not judging, at not being reactive, at not attacking and judging. Therefore, the communication and our ability to see ourselves, see the other, allow them to feel seen and received and accepted, all that bounce back and forth and create a space where there's harmony, that
mm.
peace, that harmony, and therefore your actions and your thoughts, what you say, everything will be kinder and better for the greater good. And if everyone could look for and want and understand how important it is to achieve that, the impact on the world at large would be immense.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And for me, like success is being at peace within myself. So I fully
Yeah,
resonate with what you said, because
yeah,
a lot of people define success as, you have a house and cars, but it's actually not, it's a feeling. That's what a lot of people are missing as well.
yeah.
And for me it's
And
peace. Yeah.
if I may, before I forget, um, and if you don't have that peace, the car in the house is not appreciated. It's never enough, right? So I love the car and the house, and I have nothing against that. I don't have that
Yeah.
reaction toward people that have. It's beautiful to have. Beautiful when you understand the hierarchy of what really matters, and that without that certain degree of peace, you will not look at the house and be grateful and appreciate it and share it well. It will
Yeah.
never be enough. You will not look at your partner and appreciate it and take care of it and cherish it, because you'll be looking around what's better then, right? It's always what's better. And you will never be at peace with yourself. You'll never be able to be enough. So it's a catch 22. So in order to appreciate all the things, that which is not things, right, is crucial to connect with and cultivate.
So beautifully said, Isabel. And if people want to come and work with you or connect with you
Mm.
or your harmonic egg, where can they find you?
There's a website called authenticitystressless.com, authenticitystressless.com. I'm on Instagram, a little bit on Facebook, but just simply connecting on Instagram or on my website is the way to go. I do the harmonic egg, the healing sessions. I have little events where I do a sound bath with people that I enjoy and love, where I do healing work as well at the same time. Um, and I was going to say something else. And I do, what's it called in English? I do when you don't have to be at
Oh,
my
remote,
place.
remote
Remote
sessions.
sessions, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. And I'll make sure to include all those details in the show notes. And I'm going to connect with you on Instagram, Isabel, so we can stay
Oh, thank
connected.
you so much. Thank you for having me. This was so comfortable and easy and sweet. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Isabel. And thank you for sharing your journey and the harmonic egg. I'm so fascinated. I'm going to go Google this as soon as we're finished.
Beautiful. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.